Hello everyone, this is Andrew Samra again from Jcrete. I'm here with Dr. Heinz Kavutz, the founder of the Jcrete Experience.
Co-founder.
Co-founder, yes, the other co-founder is Kirk.
Kirk
Exactly.
And so actually, Jcrete event is also John Costados.
John Costados as well. Excellent. So we have three people as the original thinkers of this thing.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about it?
So the way it worked is Kirk and I were, Kirk was running a course on Crete, and we were at Stavros in the sea, in the bay, treading water. That's what we do most of the time at Jcrete. That's why my voice is a bit hoarse from treading water this morning. And we were saying we should have an invitation-only event, like very, very special for the top people in the Java world here on Crete. We'll go to the beach and we'll do some stuff. And then we sort of just forgot about it. We had this idea and we didn't really pursue it very much. And then my friend John Costados wrote me an email about 8 years ago or so. And he said to me, he really would like to do a multi-day conference in Greece. There was no multi-day conference in Greece for Java. Now we've got Box days in Athens and Thessalonica. At the time, there was nothing in Greece. So he really wanted to do a multi-day Java conference in Greece. And this made me remember, first of all, my conversation with Kirk, and also what Bruce Eckel does in the United States, where he does his winter, he did his Java Posse Roundup a long time ago, and they would get together, go skiing half the day and talk about technology the other half of the day. And so I put all this together, and I thought, well, this would be nice to do something like this, but I had no clue how to start. I've got some other friends in Switzerland, Kim and Kate Tucker, and they do this type of thing professionally. They actually do unconferences as a job. And I asked them if they could help us, and for the first 2 Jcretes, they came down from Switzerland, and they actually helped us. They did everything for us to show us how to set up, how to run a good conference. And after 2 years, I said, well, we would like to do it next year in August. And they were sort of going, well, Kim runs up mountains, and he needs to train for some race that he was going to do, and he can't come in August because he's busy training. And so we said, well, what are we supposed to do? We said, well, one of your guys could maybe do it. And as we were discussing this, Dmitry Vasilenko was walking down the corridor, and he was this, very thin, scrawny guy, very timid, scrawny guy walking down the corridor. Very, very funny, but very quiet in the group. And Kate looked at him and she said, "What about him?" Come on, you're kidding me. There's no way, he can't do this. He's too thin. He can't do this. It's just too thin. You can't be too thin to do this. You've got to be. Although Kim is thin, but that's just
that's not the point.
Yeah, it's different. He was too thin, and so what happened is Dmitry also lives in Switzerland. So they got together and they coached Dmitry to be able to do the Jcrete, an unconference, and gave us some books to read. And I don't know, he went to gym or something, because when he got back, he was like, really strong. And he did an incredible job. He's doing it now this is now his 5th time he's doing it.
So this sounds to me like the old stories from the old antiquity, from Greek time, when somebody was chosen by the gods, bestowed some incredible power, and then came out to do some good for mankind.
Yeah, exactly. There've been a whole bunch of sort of spin-offs of this. We've got Agile Crete, and one of our disorganizers is running that, Yorgos.
Yeah.
Sosthenes.
Yes.
That's right. We are, just by the way, we're very disorganized.
Yeah. We're discussing off camera the names of the disorganizers, and we thought, oh, this is 8 of us. No, it's actually there's 9.
We think at the moment.
Yes.
Let's not put that on camera, right? Anyway, so Agile Crete, which is a spin-off, and they do their own thing. They've got their own process, but we learned from their process something, and they learned, of course, from ours. It all works together. The whole process we follow, we've actually open sourced. So if somebody else wants to do an unconference, we've got all the blueprints of how to actually structure it.
That's very good.
Which we make freely available. So it's not like, oh, I think, and please go for it. Just don't call it JCrete, that's ours. But call it anything else. And that's JCrete. We've got the JFocus speaker.
The
SpeakerConf. That is incredible.
Yeah, because that happens in winter.
That is incredible.
And then you get to ski.
Yes, and Andres and I were, I was trying to ski, Andres was skiing down black slopes.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. So that's one. And there's, of course, Bruce Eccles, that's got nothing to do with ours. We rather spin off of his. But there was also Jay Onsen.
This year in Japan, the first edition, Jay Onsen.
Did you go to that?
Yes, I was at Jay Onsen. And it was definitely a much smaller event. We got around 30 people. And
that's how we started as well.
Yeah, you start small, you have to start somewhere. We got a third of locals, so we got Japanese also contributing, and that's the great thing, is that there's a lot of interesting things happening in Japan, but we don't hear from them outside of the country. So initiatives as JCrete and Jay Onsen allow us, as the overall Java community, to hear and to also inspire what's going on there.
Yeah. Cotton Sudanese has also done this in Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you haven't heard of that, have you?
No, I didn't know they did. So he was at the first JCrete,
yes,
first and second.
And second, and he's back again.
Yeah.
And I think he was doing it. I don't know if he's still doing it. He was doing the unconference style meetups. And again, it's one of the challenges we have at JCrete is that we're limited in how many people we can have here physically. Because it's not just us, right? It's also the wives and the husbands come along, because it's an awesome place to come to.
It's a family-friendly event.
It's very family-friendly. For we had a lunch on Sunday afternoon, and the men were in the minority. It was mostly ladies and children, females.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very different type of event to a normal tech conference. Children come along from ages 0 up to 17, and they're not children anymore.
And then for a couple of years ago, I think on Friday we have kind of like a special hack day where we also have some kids attending. And then I think 2 years ago, you guys started JCrete for Kids.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And Stephen Chen brings over mountains of equipment, Lego Mindstorms and all sorts of wizardry, and we use that on the Saturday and Sundays. Saturdays in Chania, and this is something which actually John Costaros organized. He also organized the hack day. It was his idea. I was like, 4 days is enough. I'm going home now. Bye. He said, no, come on, this.
Well, it's easy for you because it's just a couple of kilometers
from exactly.
Here, right?
Drive home. That's the truth. And whereas he said, no, we've got to do hack days. Oh, come on, hack day. And then he's like, okay. Then he came and said, let's do a JCrete for kids. Oh, okay. And my kids love it. I mean, and in Chania, it's always like this, that we have this JCrete for kids, and then the parents are phoning them and saying, please, my child really wants to go. It's full already, we really want to go. But we only have a certain amount of space. I mean, we can't have 500 children. We have sort of 100 children. That's maximum. And so we've got JCrete for kids in Chania, and then the next day in Irakna, that's a city another 2 hours away from here. And this is all, it's all a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. What I wanted to say is that we encourage people to scale this by doing it themselves and doing their own JCrete, their
JCrete style,
whatever they want to call it.
Right.
But this was something we spoke about off camera. There's one ingredient which is unique to Greece, which makes J. Crete what it is. And that is Greece.
Okay, care to elaborate a little bit more on that?
So Greece has got a very unique culture. I've lived here now for 11 years, and actually I've become Greek, so Greek citizen, which is a great honor. Very few people become Greeks. But Greece has got a very different culture to other places that I've been to. In Greece, it is normal to have a bit of chaos. It's completely normal, and it's expected. And somehow, it all works out. Like I was told, I missed that unfortunately, but there was a dinner at a restaurant, unannounced, unreserved.
Yes, that happened yesterday.
Yes, unfortunately I didn't go to that, but I really wish I had. That would have been awesome. And initially, first of all, our guys went and swarmed the restaurant with 40 people. I mean, all of a sudden there's like 40 people. Now the restaurant wasn't prepared for that. You know, all of a sudden there's 40. Normally they had like 20, 30. All of a sudden they're 40 in one group. And then people started. More people came. And eventually ended up with 77 people just boom there.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, this chaos of having all of a sudden 77 people, for the Greek it's like, no problem. Yeah, we put up some more chairs, no problem. You can always put one more chair at the table. There's always a space for one more chair. And this happens infinitely. I mean, they could put like 10 chairs on one small table. And this chaos which would completely flip out any other nation, the Greeks say, no problem.
We can handle it.
No, they don't get stressed about it. No, let's get one more chair. Call Yanis, he's going to bring another 5 chairs from his house and put them here. No problem. All fine. They just don't get stressed about things. I mean, if the things that happened in Greece, the economic meltdown here, happened in any other country, then people would be blood on the streets. I mean, it'd be a revolution. What's happened, but the culture is such that it's like, Daxi, maybe it doesn't matter. It's fine. Michirota means may it not get worse. You know, if something bad happens, it could have been worse. It's all fine. And so the fact that we almost thrive in chaos. It's like Greece is the whole culture is anti-fragile, if you know that word, anti-fragile.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the whole culture is anti-fragile because when chaos comes in, it actually makes the Greeks work better together and stronger together. And the same thing with J. Crete. It's so disorganized. I've got no stress about it because everything that happens is happening. Right. I mean, my work is sort of sending emails, and people don't respond to emails. I've got to send another email. But then Andres gets like 50 emails from me saying, please enter your name on the spreadsheet, on the shared spreadsheet, say how many people are, if you're coming for dinner. And he still doesn't do it, and he still doesn't pay me for his dinner.
Come on. Well, I do get a lot of emails from you.
You do, but the problem is people don't respond. Let's ignore them. So then it's an email. I have to tweet people directly. I've got to, but that's only before J. Crete.
Yeah.
Once J. Crete starts, we don't even have a schedule. I mean, it's not a schedule. We don't have a plan of what we're going to talk about. We've got no idea. The conference starts, and so what are you talking about? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just a blank slate. And this reminds me of the words from, I think it was John Gage, Java 1 2008. And he opened the conference and said, you have about 200 or so hours of opportunity. It's up to you to decide how you make the best out of them. So in J. Crete, we have roughly 5 days. You take the event previous on Sunday, and then you get a half day to make the most of it. Your own premises here at the OAC, or on the beach, or on dinner, or on a taverna, somewhere else, right?
And this is another thing is that we only have 3 official sessions per day, which start at 9 o'clock and end at 12 o'clock. We have lunch. But the real fun starts after the sessions. Even the sessions, we don't want somebody to hog the floor for more than 10 minutes.
Right.
So we do, sometimes of course it happens that there's a certain expert of a certain subject who needs to speak, but we try to keep things very flowing all the time, the conversation. And what I find interesting is that the real fun starts after the sessions when you go to the beach, and you can see these groups of people. There's a group, a pot of geeks, and there's another pot of geeks over there, treading water, talking about Java or JSON or garbage collection or C or something else. Or we had a good session this morning. It's often if you.
I was not able to make it to the excursion this morning, but I'm pretty sure that you guys were able to.
I'm talking about the one session on the beach.
Oh yeah.
So we had a session on the beach about stress of work and how to cope with stress. So it's not all about Java. It's not all about heavy technical things, but it's about things which will make us more productive as Java programmers.
Yes. So to me, it feels a little bit like the sessions that have been scheduled are more like a warm-up.
Yeah.
Right? So just to get you started, just to give you the initial kick, and you get the whole feel for the rest of the day to continue the discussions on the beach while on your car. We share cars to go on discussions, and so you get to meet a lot of people, right?
I had Ray in the back with me. It was so funny.
And then during dinner time, and because we usually share meals, there's plenty of time and space for you to continue these discussions.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's completely free, and it's emergent behavior, if you will, because things just so happen.
And what's interesting also about it is our cost model. Right? Because all the people that come, thinking it was okay?
Yeah.
All the people that come, including myself, pay their own way.
Oh yeah.
And obviously there are costs involved because we all have to get degrees. So there are about most of the people travelled here. There were only two besides myself who live in Ghana, I think. One came from Morocco, but the vast majority is from all over the world. From Malaysia, from Australia, from Canada, from the United States. Brazil had to cancel because they had another conference. And then loads from Germany and Austria and all over Europe. We've had people from South Africa, India. We've got one this year.
Yeah.
And these people, the delegates, are all speakers because we're all speaking. Right? It's not like normal conference where you've got the speaker and then you've got the rest. We're all the same. And as a result, the way the costing works is we all chip in. It's like if there's a dinner, for example, the fish dinner, there's food on the plates and there's lots of food, and then in the end somebody goes around and works out what's the price and how many heads are there, and it's a simple division. Which isn't fair because you're a vegetarian. So.
Yeah, things are different.
But you're very good natured about it.
So I probably might not get my fair share of meal. Actually, I ate plenty, but you also have this experience of talking to people, and you get more of that, right? So it's the synergy that you get in this kind of event it really goes skin deep.
Yeah, it's absolutely. We have a lot of Java champions coming too.
That's also true.
So this year we had 30 Java champions.
That's probably the highest concentration of Java champions in a smallish event other than Java 1.
No, it's the per capita. It's way more than.
Oh yeah, percentage-wise, this is probably
the
one of
highest.
the top.
It's the highest. Yeah. I'm quite sure it's the highest because it's like every third person, every bit more than every fourth person is a Java champion. So it's like you can't bump into someone who's not a Java champion in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And what's also interesting is that because we only invite people who are already very strong in Java, quite a few people who've come here were recognized as job champions and became job champions afterwards.
Yeah, that's what happened in the past.
Quite a few.
Yeah. And we also have people that feel that they might not be technically strong, or they are not really much into Java. They used to be, and now they're probably using another platform, another technology. But they also feel like they have something to contribute. So I think it was 2 years ago we got a psychologist participating in the sessions.
Yeah, 2 years or last year, was it? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, something like that. That's it. But the fact is that this usually was this is the partner of one of the technologists, and yet she decided to say, "Hey, I have something to say. Would you guys hear that?" And everybody was happy with this kind of sessions because again, we can share techie stuff and non-techie stuff.
Yeah. So last year was a psychologist. The year before was another friend of mine called Peter Carruthers, who was like a small business marketing expert who really was very interesting. He wanted to come again this year, but it's like his wife has just started a job and they've got, and then it's the person
that's right.
So my wife says you guys are doing such holistic stuff, just because we do everything. We do, for example, Mark Hoffman and I, one of the other disorganizers. Mark Hoffman is mainly the beer guy. Let's say he started as a beer guy, but he helps in many different ways. But Mark Hoffman goes and he got a group of people to go running in the mornings. So now I've joined him on that. So I take the slow people, he takes the fast people. So if you're slow, you can run slowly, fast, but you get exercise in the morning. Simone Bourdet does teaches to swim, or can teach swimming if you want to learn swimming. And so we have from the morning, 6:30, running up until the night, parties and things. And what I love about the way that we can operate is that because there's no fixed structure, there's no organization as such. People can self-organize stuff. Like for example, Yorgos is organized. You probably know this. He's opened a private channel on Slack for parents with their children.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, let's go to the water park with the kids. Let's do that. Great idea. Let's go to the water park. Rather than having one person who now has to organize everything. I would go crazy if I had to organize everything. But here I don't have to. Somebody comes to me and says, wouldn't it be nice if we rented some bicycles? I would say, yes, that's fantastic. Why don't you go and find out some names and get some bicycles for us?
And there you go.
That's it. Empowerment for the conference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The way that the most of the attendees react to the capabilities that they can take that. So simply, if you want something to happen, then just make it happen. Yeah. Just go ahead. Yeah. Right. This goes back to what you were telling us about the freedom that you can experience here in Greece and in Crete in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much. The Greeks are very much freedom-loving people. You can't, you have rules, and the rules will be like, it's okay. I remember we were invited to a dinner party, and they told my wife, come at 6:30, and we got there at 7:30, and because I'm of German origin, as you can imagine with the name Heinz, I was getting really nervous. I said, they said 6:30. I said, no, we'll go. We're getting dressed, so we go 7:30. We got to 7:30, and the man of the party, he still hadn't dressed yet, and he was washing up and cleaning. He said, oh, the people are here already, because the rules are interpreted very differently to other.
Right. Right. Excellent. So I think we're almost running out of memory.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I think I have some video glitches I would have to figure out. But thanks again. This has been a wonderful time, and hopefully everybody else that sees this video will get a little bit of that inspiration and a feeling of what's happening here at J-Crete, and also get that inspiration to probably run their own events locally or talk to somebody that can do it. I will post on the comments the information about Heinz and J-Crete and everything else, especially how you can get started with your own jQuery like event, so that if you like the idea, just take it, use it, and keep contributing and make things better.
We've got people in lots of different countries who've attended, and maybe we can put you in touch with some of them.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your help as well.